Decluttering can feel like an overwhelming mountain to climb, especially as a senior. You've accumulated decades of memories, trinkets, and treasures, each with a story to tell. It's not just about tidying up, it's a deeply emotional process that requires time, reflection, and a plan. Looking back, there are so many things I wish I had known before I started this journey, and I'm here to share them with you. Hopefully, they'll make your experience smoother, less stressful, and maybe even a little joyful. 1. Decluttering is emotional, and that's okay. No one told me just how emotional it would be to go through my things. Sorting through boxes of old letters, family heirlooms, and forgotten souvenirs brought back a flood of memories. Some were beautiful, while others were bittersweet. What I wish I'd known was to prepare myself for these emotions and to embrace them rather than push them away. It's important to create a safe, comforting environment before you begin. Light a candle, play soothing music, or bring a friend or family member for support. Allow yourself to cry, laugh, or even pause to reflect. One person shared how they gave themselves emotional breaks during the process. They'd set an item aside, take a walk or have a cup of tea, and return with a clearer mindset. Recognize that these feelings are a natural part of letting go. 2. Start small, but be consistent. I made the mistake of trying to tackle the entire house all at once. That was a big mistake. The sheer scale of the task quickly became overwhelming, and I found myself giving up more often than not. Later, I learned to start small, one drawer, one shelf, or one corner of a room at a time. Think of decluttering as building a new habit. Begin with areas that are less emotionally charged, like a bathroom cabinet or a junk drawer. Celebrate even the smallest victories, like finally clearing out a shelf that's been gathering dust for years. A woman shared how she created a checklist and marked her progress with a sticker system. It felt rewarding to see her progress visually, and it kept her motivated to keep going. 3. Not everything has to go. It's about prioritizing. Decluttering doesn't mean you have to let go of everything. I used to think I had to choose between keeping everything or throwing it all away. Then I learned about the concept of treasured items. Keep the things that truly bring you joy or hold deep meaning and let go of the rest. Take the time to really assess each item. Ask yourself, does this bring me happiness? Do I use it? Could someone else benefit from it more? A helpful strategy I discovered is the 1-year rule. If you haven't used or enjoyed something in the past year, it might be time to let it go. I also created a maybe box for items I wasn't sure about. If I didn't need or think about them after a few months, I knew it was safe to say goodbye. 4. Ask for help when you need it. There's no shame in asking for help. I wish I'd known how much easier and enjoyable decluttering can be with family or friends by your side. Having someone else there can provide emotional support and a fresh perspective. My daughter helped me get rid of old kitchen gadgets I hadn't used in years. She reminded me that they could be better used by someone who truly needed them. If you're hesitant to ask for help, remember that your loved ones often want to be there for you. It's also a wonderful opportunity to share stories about your belongings. For example, going through photo albums with my grandchildren turned into a storytelling session they absolutely loved. And if family isn't nearby, consider enlisting the help of a professional organizer or a trusted neighbor. 5. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. One of the hardest parts for me was letting go of items tied to precious memories. What finally helped was realizing that I wasn't letting go of the memory itself. I started taking photos of items before donating or discarding them. This simple tip, which I picked up from a YouTube comment, allowed me to preserve the sentimental value without keeping the physical clutter. Another strategy is to repurpose items into something new. For example, someone shared how they turned old t-shirts into a quilt. I tried this with some of my old shirts, and it's now a cherished keepsake that I use every day. Remember, it's not about erasing memories, but about finding meaningful ways to keep them alive. 6. Don't forget to celebrate your progress. Decluttering doesn't happen overnight, and it's important to celebrate small victories along the way. I used to get so focused on what was left to do that I forgot to acknowledge how much I'd already accomplished. One woman I came across online shared how she created a before and after photo album. Seeing the transformation of her spaces motivated her to keep going. I also started treating myself after each session, whether it was enjoying my favorite dessert or spending extra time on my hobbies. Celebrating progress, no matter how small, can make the journey feel more rewarding and less like a chore. 7. Plan for the future. As a senior, decluttering isn't just about making your space more livable, it's also about leaving a legacy. I wish I had thought more about what would happen to my belongings after I'm gone. Having open conversations with your loved ones about what they'd like to keep can make things easier for everyone. Take the time to label important items or write notes about their significance. For instance, I wrote a small card explaining the story behind my father's brooch, which I passed down to my grandson. It's also helpful to create a will or inventory list for your belongings. This ensures that your cherished items are passed down to those who will value them most. 8. You don't have to do it all at once. Decluttering is a journey, not a sprint. It's okay to take breaks, revisit items, and adjust your approach as you go. There's no deadline or right way to do it. You can break the process into phases if you need to. Start with non-sentimental areas like the kitchen or garage and save emotionally charged items for later. Over time, you'll build the confidence to tackle even the hardest spaces. A senior I met shared how they spent 6 months decluttering one room at a time, and by the end, they felt lighter and more at peace. 9. Create a decluttering schedule. Setting aside dedicated time for decluttering can make the task more manageable. Instead of waiting for inspiration to strike, plan short, regular sessions. For instance, you can commit to 30 minutes a day or one weekend afternoon each week. Consistency builds momentum, and having a schedule keeps you on track without feeling overwhelmed. I found it helpful to use a calendar to block out time. A woman shared how she treated her decluttering appointments like doctor's visits, non-negotiable. Knowing that time was set aside just for this purpose made it easier to prioritize. 10. Use the 4-box method. When I first started decluttering, I felt paralyzed by indecision. Then I discovered the 4-box method. For every area you tackle, set up 4 boxes labeled Keep, Donate, Trash, and Relocate. This system forces you to make a decision about each item immediately and avoids creating new piles of clutter. For example, when I went through my office, I placed outdated paperwork in the trash box, office supplies I no longer needed in the donate box, and sentimental items like family photos in the keep box. The relocate box was perfect for items that belonged in other rooms. This method brought clarity and order to what felt chaotic. 11. Digitize when possible. Technology can be a powerful ally in your decluttering journey. For example, instead of holding onto stacks of old photos or paperwork, consider digitizing them. Scanning documents and uploading them to cloud storage or an external hard drive reduces physical clutter while keeping important information accessible. I used a simple scanner to digitize family photos and shared the files with my children and grandchildren. Not only did this free up space, but it also preserved these memories for future generations. A friend suggested an app for scanning and organizing documents, which worked wonders for reducing my paper piles. 12. Be mindful of just-in-case thinking. One trap I fell into was holding onto items just in case I might need them someday. This mindset made it harder to part with things I hadn't used in years. The truth is, if you haven't needed something in a long time, you're unlikely to need it in the future. A great piece of advice I found was to imagine the worst-case scenario. If you let go of an item and suddenly need it later, could you borrow or replace it? Often, the answer is yes. Recognizing this helped me let go of countless what-if items cluttering my home. 13. Donate with purpose. Knowing that my belongings would go to someone in need made it much easier to let go. Research local charities, shelters, or community centers that accept donations. Some organizations even pick up items from your home, which saves time and effort. I donated my extra blankets to a homeless shelter and my old books to a local library. Hearing how these items would help others brought me a sense of peace and fulfillment. A neighbor suggested a Buy Nothing group in my area, where I could give away items directly to people who needed them. 14. Keep safety in mind. As you declutter, it's essential to keep safety in mind. Avoid overexerting yourself by lifting heavy boxes or furniture alone. Use proper tools like a dolly or ask for assistance when necessary. Additionally, be cautious when handling old or fragile items that might break. One senior shared how they injured themselves trying to declutter their attic without help. This reminder made me more mindful of my own limits. Pace yourself and prioritize safety over speed to ensure the process remains manageable and injury-free. 15. Focus on the benefits. Whenever the process felt overwhelming, I reminded myself of the benefits: a cleaner home, less stress, and more freedom. Visualizing how I wanted my space to look and feel kept me motivated. Decluttering also brought unexpected perks, like rediscovering lost treasures. I found a handwritten letter from my mother that I thought had been lost forever. Moments like these made the effort worthwhile. Focus on the lightness and clarity that comes from letting go, and use that as fuel to keep going. Decluttering your home as a senior is about more than just clearing out physical clutter. It's a transformative journey that can bring clarity, peace, and a renewed sense of purpose. It's a chance to reflect on your life, embrace what truly matters, and create a space that supports your well-being. Take your time, be kind to yourself, and remember that every small step counts. Celebrate your progress and focus on the positive changes each decluttering session brings. By letting go of what no longer serves you, you make room for new possibilities, cherished memories, and a lighter, more joyful life. I hope these insights help you as much as they've helped me. Feel free to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If this video was helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need it. Hit the subscribe button for more tips on living your best life in your senior life. Take care, and thank you for watching.